Just came back from the Pac-12 Championships in Tucson, Arizona. Fred Harvey and his group there at the University of Arizona did a great job putting on a fabulous meet. Unfortunately, the weather didn't play its part there, but we dealt with those adverse conditions, and of course, you guys all know the outcome. The men won their 13th title, and the women were runner-up for 2 years in a row. Now we're on to regionals, and of course, we are going to take 57 individuals, men and women, to Sacramento next week to compete. And of course, the obvious goal there is to be in the top 12 in each event and come back to Austin for NCAAs.
What are your thoughts on Cravon and what he was able to do last week? Obviously, he had a lot of nice performances throughout the team, but Cravon kind of really stood out.
Yeah, we had 8 individual champions there, probably the most ever in program history in my time here. So Cravon and a bunch of others did a fantastic job in being Pac-12 champions, and Cravon was able to get 2 of those. And so whenever you run fast times like those obviously stand out, just like you noted, and those are good times and should bode well for him moving forward.
He obviously set big goals for himself. He didn't shy away from that, and I think you were happy to hear him do that. But is he even ahead of schedule despite setting the bar so high? He said his goal was to run in the 9.9s, and now he's done that, and there's still more to come.
Yeah, we felt we were a little behind indoors and what he was supposed to do based on what he had been doing in practice indoors. So we missed a little bit there. And so we're probably finally getting closer to where we'd be. But I would say there's a lot more in the tank there if you go and look at it when we evaluate his races there.
What's it like to see a kid run that fast? And I mean, it's got to be thrilling as a coach, too, to think about the potential.
You know, my eyes is what's it like to be here at the University of Oregon and have someone run that fast. That's never happened in history. You know, when you start running that fast, there's only a few places in the United States that can say they have a sub 10-second 100-meter guy that's ever graced their campuses, and we're fortunate enough to have one of them. Even more so on the women's side when you start to talk about going sub 11 seconds. So we've had a few of those come through our program. So just a true testament of what Coach Saylor is doing there, who coaches Cravon. So just a really good job all around.
Has that been a box you've been wanting to check then? Has it been a bugaboo for you or something?
Well, if you've ever been to our office, we have all these records there, and a large part of them on the men's and women's side is from our era. So there's a few there that are from eras of the past, and we have a huge tradition here. So anytime we get to check one of those boxes off, it's a huge thumb up for us guys.
Another guy that seemed to really stand out was Eric Edwards. He really just dominated that 110 hurdle race. What are your thoughts on him going forward and his potential for the next 2 weeks?
You know, Eric is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get because he's a freshman guy and has really come in and learned what we're about here at Oregon. He's bought into everything that we're teaching him, and he's been phenomenal. And so for him to get a championship as a freshman is definitely, once again, one of those feathers in your caps. And if you look at the history of the Pac-12 meet, very few freshmen win Pac-12 titles. So for him to get one is huge. You know, if I'm talking about freshmen, I'd be crazy not to mention Max Vollmer, probably one of only 4 freshmen to win a decathlon title. So just lots of good stuff from young kids in our program. So you can kind of see that we're doing our due diligence as far as beating the bushes and getting the right kids to come in, and they're buying into what we're teaching here.
Has almost won all the jumps as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess long and triple jump, and then long jump on the men's side. So just those were seniors, by the way, except for Risa, who's a junior. But Tristan did a good job there in the men's long jump, and then, of course, Shaquin in the women's triple jump. You know, those kids will definitely be missed. They've been joys to work with here in our program.
You've obviously been hearing this all season, but without a traditional home track for you guys all year, it's still been back to business for you guys. What does that show? What does that say about this team for them to going through with all you guys went through the off season, not having a home track, still to persevere?
Yeah, it makes going through a lightning storm 2 days in a row a piece of cake because it's almost like that for us here on a daily basis. And we've been fortunate enough to have some donors put a track around the surface here in the Mo. We've been fortunate enough to be able to go out to Hamlin Middle School, but it's not what we're probably used to, and we can't wait to get back to Hayward Field.
kind of
Obviously
things?
doing it. Go ahead.
What kind of things can you improve as a team going into regionals?
A little different dynamic there. Time matters here. And of course, you got to be top 12, but you got to advance on time to some of these races. And where there, it's just about putting our color in front of the other colors at the Pac-12 meet. Where here, you have to get into those top heats and of course advance on time. But then when it's all said and done, you have to be top 12. So one is just as good as 12 to advance. So it's a little bit of different mentality, and they kind of set it up to where you have an opportunity to do that.
Obviously, doing the 15 5K double is a little bit ridiculous, but was there any thought to having just do both of those events at regionals to see which ones you could qualify in? Obviously, you should qualify in both, but
Well, I wonder where you were going with that one. Sure, there's always thoughts like that. Of course, we're looking after Jess as far as the long term is concerned, and she'll have a busy summer. And sitting down and talking with her and Helen, the 1500 made sense.
Robert, with the women's side, Pac-12, what was it about USC that was just too much? Seemed like they had so many sprinters just get ahead first.
I don't necessarily know if it's anything about them. It's more so about us. Probably one of the disadvantages for us, and having those straight time finals. That's not necessarily a good thing because we feel like we've probably got some more girls to score there in the 800 as well as the 200. So it's neither here nor there. Those are the cards that we dealt with, and we rolled with those punches.